Okay, bet. Here we go. So, I've been watching some of the moves that you've been making within the city, within the culture via your music the last couple of years specifically. I can't really, I don't know. One of the things I want to do in this conversation is learn more about your, very beginnings of you starting to create music and starting to release music. So I don't know that specifically, but what I do know specifically is when I begin to see you regularly on my radar as somebody who stays in tune with the music scene locally and somebody that listens to artists here locally and stays within the conversations both online and word of mouth. The last 2 or 3 years, specifically, I done really seen you have a lot of motion, have a lot of movement, do a lot to get your name out there, do a lot to get your music out there. So tell me, when was the first time that you put out a song, released a song, and begin to take that step forward where more people in the city would know you musically and locally?
It's crazy that you say that because you said you've been seeing me crazy for the past 2 years.
Two to three.
3 years.
Yeah.
Crazy part about it is I just started rapping going on to my 4th year.
Okay.
So I started popping off and doing everything from the beginning when I first started dropping music.
Okay.
I dropped my first song right after dealing with my seizures.
Okay.
From 21 to 26, I dealt with seizures.
Okay.
So at 25, at the end of the year, it was December. December is the month where it's 3 years. I haven't dealt with seizures or nothing like that. So It's a celebration month for me.
That's what's up. Good to hear that.
Then, so I wrote my first song at 17, wasn't able to do nothing with it, never dropped it, dealt with what I dealt with my medical and stuff like that, and started dropping music at 25.
Okay.
So I dropped my first song, Flex.
Okay.
And that's a song that's people well known and love the song in the city and also outside the city because it's still getting played on radio stations.
Okay.
So it definitely feels good to know that as soon as I jumped in the game, I made an impact.
That's what's up.
So that feels good.
So then to piggyback off of what you said that at 17 is when you first started, writing music or first started getting into music. So let's jump all the way back to the beginning then. What was your first introduction to music? What was your first, maybe even way before you decided to start creating music or be involved in music, when you start thinking about your earliest music memories, what was the artist or what was the song or what was the time period that comes to mind?
I would say like the 70s and the 80s, to be honest, because I got a very old soul.
Okay.
I grew up around my grandma, and so we used to learn a lot after her. And then also my brother used to put me on to a lot of music and stuff like that, and that was more the Avant and stuff like that when it was popping and stuff like that. So I've always been brought up on old school music and stuff like that. So it's like I've always had that influence. I never realized how much I loved music or was into music until my family actually started telling me stories. Because it's like I forgot so much because of my seizures.
Okay.
And it's like I don't remember some of my childhood and some of my high school years and stuff like that because it was wiped out. It's like my family reminds me like, yeah, I used to sing in a corner and shit like that. I used to sing in a fan and just do my own little thing and stuff like that. But I was always a quiet kid, so nobody expected me to become an artist.
Okay.
Because it takes a lot to do that. You have to put yourself out here in front of people. You have to break that mold of, okay, I'm shy, but I can't be shy in these environments.
Okay.
So it's like me always loving music since a kid and just growing up inspired by music and music always made me feel good. When I turned 17, I was living in Detroit. I had to move up there to finish high school.
Okay.
So I went through depression pretty much because I was missing home. And it was barely nobody at the house. It was always just me. My brother got shipped off. And then my dad was always at work. My stepmom was always at work and stuff like that. So I was always at the crib by myself.
Okay.
So it was like music was my escape from everything. Like after school work was done, music. That's all I'm doing, listening to music. And one day I just woke up and I was listening to music, sitting in front of my TV, and I was like, damn, like if they can make me feel better with just the words that they saying and the beats that they chose, what if I can do the same thing and help somebody else out who's going through the same thing that I'm going through?
Right.
So that's when I first tried to write music.
Okay.
And it worked out.
Do you remember